Hello students, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to begin our grade 9 history lesson. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Lesson 4, The Sources of History. In this video, we'll be learning about the different sources of history. Now, history is the study of the past, and to know about the past, we need to study the sources of history. Now, what are these sources? History helps us understand the past, but it relies on evidence from sources. These sources are like puzzle pieces that historians use to build a picture of what happened. Sources are divided into two main types: primary and secondary. Without these sources, we cannot know history. Primary sources. Primary sources are original items or records created during the time of an event. They are like a direct window into the past. For example, a letter written by a soldier during a war is a primary source. These sources connect us to the moment they describe. Examples of primary sources include physical objects like coins, tools, or old buildings. Written materials, such as diaries, letters, or legal documents, are also primary sources. Visual items like photographs, maps, or videos count too. Even audio recordings, like speeches, are primary sources. To use primary sources, historians must check if they are real and not fake. They also need to make sure the source is relevant to the event they are studying. This process is called verification. It ensures the source is trustworthy and useful for understanding history. Secondary sources. Secondary sources are created after the event and often use primary sources to explain or interpret the past. They are like someone telling you a story based on what they learned. For example, a history book about ancient Egypt is a secondary source. Other examples include articles, biographies, or movies about historical events. Oral traditions, like stories or myths passed down through generations, are also secondary sources. These stories might tell about a great battle or a legendary hero. Secondary sources need careful checking too. Historians look at the author's credibility and the accuracy of the information. They also check what sources the author used. Oral traditions can be tricky because stories can change over time, losing their truth. Historians compare them with written records or artifacts to confirm their accuracy. Importance of critical evaluation. Both primary and secondary sources must be evaluated carefully. For primary sources, historians verify if they are genuine and connected to the event. For secondary sources, they check if the interpretations are accurate and based on good evidence. Oral traditions especially need cross-checking with other sources, like written documents or objects, because they can become distorted over time. Critical evaluation is important because it ensures history is based on reliable evidence. Without it, we might believe false stories or incorrect facts. By carefully checking sources, historians build a more accurate and trustworthy picture of the past. In summary, history depends on sources to tell us about the past. Primary sources, like letters, coins, or photographs, are created during the event and give direct evidence. Secondary sources, like books or oral stories, interpret the past using primary sources. Both types need careful evaluation to ensure they are reliable. Primary sources must be checked for authenticity, while secondary sources need scrutiny for accuracy. Oral traditions require extra care because they can change over time. By evaluating sources critically, historians ensure that the history we learn is as true and accurate as possible. This process helps us trust the stories of the past and learn from them. Review questions. Question 1. What is the difference between a primary source and a secondary source? Answer: a primary source is an original item or record created during the time of an event, like a diary or photograph. A secondary source is created later and interprets or explains the past, like a history book or a movie about historical events. Question 2. Why is it important to verify primary sources before using them in historical research? Answer: verifying primary sources ensures they are genuine and not fake. It also confirms they are relevant to the event being studied. This makes sure the evidence used in history is trustworthy and accurate. Question 3. How should historians evaluate oral traditions as secondary sources? Answer: historians should cross-check oral traditions with written records or physical artifacts. This is because oral stories can change over time and lose accuracy. Comparing them with other sources helps confirm their truthfulness.